Good evening, folks. This is Bill Breeden. Welcome to Constellation Tour number 83. Tonight we're going to talk about the southern celestial polar constellation Apus, or the Bird of Paradise. We have Stellarium here set up for an observing location in Buenos Aires from a moderately light polluted location. And we have it set up for a 60-degree true field of view, simulating the naked eye view of the night sky on February the 2nd, 2022 at about 9 p.m. So Apus is a faint, obscure constellation, but thanks to Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri, it's not too difficult to find. So how do we go about finding Apus, the Bird of Paradise? We're looking south, so we're looking towards the south celestial pole from Buenos Aires. So we're going to start by looking for Crux, the Southern Cross, which is here, and Alpha and Beta Centauri, which are here. And we're going to bisect Alpha and Beta and draw a line towards the south celestial pole. And Crux, the Southern Cross, also points to it. So where those two lines intersect, those imaginary lines, that takes you to the south celestial pole. And you will find the Bird of Paradise in this general region. So let's draw our constellation lines and come up with a good way to find it. Okay, you can see Apus right here is depicted by these three very faint stars. So one way to do it would probably be to use Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri to find the south celestial pole, and then realize that Apus is just short of the south celestial pole on the line that would extend from Alpha and Beta Centauri. So maybe not the best way to find it, but let me show you why that would work. Because the stars in the south celestial polar region are going to rotate clockwise around the south celestial pole. So they're going to be going this way. So Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri aren't always going to be in the same spot as you look south. They're going to slowly move this direction as the hours go by each night, and over the course of a year as the months go by as well. So if you use my method and use Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri to find the south celestial pole, you can always remember that Apus is located along the line that comes from Alpha and Beta Centauri, and it's just short of the south celestial pole. So that puts it about here. So let's go a couple of months in advance, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll move this out of the way. Now watch Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri as we advance the months. This is February 2nd. Here's March 2nd. Now notice how Crux has moved upward. April 2nd. Crux is almost off the screen now. So let's stop at April 2nd, 2022. And now Crux and Alpha and Beta Centauri are way up here. So you can still use my method. You can draw a line from Crux and a line bisecting Alpha and Beta Centauri to find the south celestial pole. And if you think about the line coming from Alpha and Beta Centauri and stop short of the south celestial pole, that puts you about here. Yeah, that was close. Apus is down here. So it's going to be a little tricky. There really are no bright stars to hook onto. Oops. So it's these faint stars right here. It's going to be a little tricky to find. So you can use my method or just bring a star chart and star hop to it the best way that you can. Being a southern celestial polar constellation, Apus is visible all year, just since it just rotates around the south celestial pole. So let's have a look at this part of the sky from a dark location. Let's make it dark. All right, we've got the Southern Cross here. We've got Alpha and Beta Centauri here. Draw lines from them. Brings you to the South Celestial Pole. And come back a little bit towards Alpha and Beta Centauri. And Apus should be around in here. That was pretty close that time. It's a little intimidating. I'm not real familiar with the southern sky except from star charts. Never been to the southern hemisphere, so I've never seen any of this in real life. If you have, I'm jealous. Okay. So there are no real bright stars in Apus, so let's just take a look at the stars that we have to view. Start with the middle one. That is Gamma. And then we have the alpha stars there, and then beta's here. So alpha and beta are at the top and bottom of this. Then we have this extra star here, that's delta. So we have alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. That works out pretty good. So delta is also a double star. So let's take a look at delta. It shines at magnitude 4.6 and is located 760 light years from Earth. That looks like it's going to split really nicely. It sure does. Delta splits really nicely. There's an angular separation of just under 2 arc minutes, which makes it a really nice binocular double and even a better telescopic double. Here's a view of it through a 24mm panoptic eyepiece. So while we're in this neighborhood, let's see if the gamma star is a double. It doesn't look like it is. The beta star is listed as a double, so let's have a look at that. And through our finder, it looks like we have another little companion star right next to it. Let's put our eyepiece in. Yeah, that splits nicely too. This beta is listed at magnitude 4.2 at a distance of 156 light years from Earth, with an angular separation of just over an arc minute and a half. Again, another really nice telescopic double. Let's try a higher power eyepiece. It's a 19mm panoptic, one of my very favorite eyepieces of all time. Just goes so well with an f10 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain grain. A 19mm panoptic eyepiece I cannot recommend highly enough. It's just so comfortable to view through. And this is a simulation of it. Okay, let's go back out to a naked eye view. And let's have a look at the mythical figures. And you can see Apus here is right next to Octans, which is the South Celestial Polar region. And Apus is depicted as the bird of paradise, just between Octans and Triangulum Australe. And here's the Southern Cross, which, how would we navigate the southern sky without it? I don't know. It's like the Big Dipper or Little Dipper of the southern sky. Then you have the Alpha and Beta star of Centaurus here. And when you draw lines between them, you end up at the South Celestial Pole, which is actually about here. Okay, well, I don't have any deep sky objects listed in Apus, the bird of paradise. So let's use Stellarium as a star chart. So what I do is I made it dark already. And let's go into Sky and Viewing Options. And let's turn on our labels for star names. So now we have our star name showing up. And let's go over to Deep Sky Objects and turn on labels there. Yeah, let's see. Let's make it a little bit more sensitive. Get a few more objects populating here. Okay, let's turn on our constellation line so we can see what's within the border of Apus. And even with some deep sky objects turned on, there's just nothing showing up here. So let's see if we can improve this a little bit. Let's go back here and let's make our sensitivity a little higher. All right, we managed to increase it enough to populate a few deep sky objects here. So they both look like they have the globular cluster symbol, so that'll be nice. Let's take a look at NGC 6101. This is a 10th magnitude globular star cluster, which is why it was so hard to get it to show up. 10th magnitude is pretty faint, at a distance of 50,000 light years from Earth. Take a look at that through the finder and see if anything shows up except for the icon. Looks like there might be an image of it in here. There we go. Okay, there is NGC 6101, 10th magnitude globular cluster, as seen through a 19 millimeter panoptic eyepiece. This is also cataloged as Caldwell 107. Sweet. Little patience pays off. Okay, and we had another deep sky object show up within the boundaries of Apus, and that was this globular cluster here, IC4499. Let's have a look at that through the finder. This is cataloged as a globular star cluster of magnitude 8.5, 61,000 light years from Earth. And here's a view of it again through our 19 millimeter panoptic eyepiece. Nice. What a nice little globular cluster. 61,300 light years from Earth. So the light reaching us from that globular cluster is left its origin 61,000 years ago, and we're just now seeing it. Spectacular. Okay, let's return Stellarium to planetarium mode. So we're going to go into deep sky objects and turn off labels, and go into sky and turn off star labels. And then we're going to turn off these constellation labels. And now we're back in planetarium mode. So that's all I had on my list tonight for Apus, the bird of paradise. So this concludes my tour tonight. Thank you for joining me. Good night and good seeing.